So, Blobby and Friends is a dumb comic. But why? Before we get into this, let me introduce you to the comic, because I did follow the comic on Instagram a few years ago. So anyways, Blobby and Friends, like the title suggests, revolves around a personified blobfish, who is personified enough apparently to get offended by people not calling him non-binary. And it also revolves around his friends, who are humans. And yeah, by the way, yes, I'm not calling Blobby a they-them, deal with it. The main recurring human characters originally were Lily, a blue-haired, presumably East Asian, maybe like Southeast Asian lesbian with neo-pronouns, guessing by the blue hair, and Ash, a black lesbian. As time went on, they introduced another character called Punk Kid, who looks like a person from a K-pop band with his ugly-ass haircut, which I hate. He used to be an interesting character. The whole idea was that from the outside, he seems tough with the skull on his shirt and, you know, the big biceps. But on the inside, he is sweet and caring. It's like, the whole joke behind him is like, they had us in the first half, not gonna lie. After a year of him, though, he stopped being tough on the outside, so he became a pretty boring character after that, with the only unique thing about him is that he is gay, like every single other character that reoccurs in the comic. Then we have this dude. I don't know what to say about him, honestly. He's kind of, they're just there. Just like all the problems of this comic. So what are the problems? Well, first of all, we have to define exactly what a comic is. According to Oxford Languages, the first definition is causing, or meant to cause laughter. Most Blobby and Friends comics are unfunny, so would they even count as comics? For example, they were like always unfunny, because before 2019, before they did like all these political comics, most of the comics were relatable comics, and we all know how unfunny those are because all of them use the same 3 or 4 jokes like, oi, me depression bad, me anxiety bad. Do you ever do this quirky thing? But the main reason Blobby and Friends is unfunny nowadays is because politics. Most of the comics are political, especially most of the comics from after 2018 or 2019. And honestly, political comics aren't very funny in general. I talked about another political comic artist on this channel before called Stone Toss, who is conservative and of course in an ironic tone because people really overreact when talking about him, thinking he will start a new fascist dictatorship or something, so I really wanted to make fun of that. But yeah, anyways, both Stone Toss and Blobby and Friends aren't like the funniest stuff because they got a crap ton of straw manning. But yeah, anyways, I find Stone Toss funnier than Blobby and Friends because it has the appeal of dark humor, whereas Blobby and Friends doesn't, because it's a woke comic, which means that the creator of Blobby and Friends would consider it bigotry. For comparison, here's the average Stone Toss comic compared with the average Blobby and Friends comic. I think Stone Toss is likely funnier because his opinions aren't as mainstream, at least where I'm from in the hellhole of California. Blobby and Friends certainly is the mainstream, as the public schools shove the kind of stuff Blobby and Friends teaches down our friggin' throats. However, even stuff that isn't politics offends this presumably blue-haired East Asian lesbian liberal that writes this unfunny comic. For example, take this comic. She's getting offended by a no homo joke, a middle schooler joke. Like the least offensive joke ever. Sorry, but if you get offended by this simple kind of joke, good luck in the real world. Oh wait, the Blobby and Friends team already has over 75,000 followers on Twitter. Never mind. The creators of Blobby and Friends also get pissed off when someone tells them spending multiple hours on video games isn't productive, apparently. There's also some non-political stuff that I personally get triggered by in this comic. For example, the overuse of LGBTQ jokes. I've never found an LGBT joke funny at all, except this one. This one's pretty funny, I will admit. But all the other LGBT jokes aren't funny, meaning a good amount of humor in this comic is not very good, because the humor is basically, oi, me quirky, because me LGBTQ, or whatever, laugh. But out of all these types of humor, the polyamorous ones are the worst. Basically, polygamy isn't cool when Middle Eastern Arab Muslims do it, but when white American liberals with dyed hair and weird pronouns do it and call it polyamory, it's considered fine. Anyways, this tweet pretty much sums up my views on that. Anyways, Blobby and Friends is a mediocre webcomic due to its obsession with politics, getting offended by everything, and terrible LGBTQ jokes. I'm out of here. Enjoy your day, people, and bye.